Welcome to this second day of the training workshop on leadership and financial management for our affiliates in South India. We had a wonderful Sunday. I wish every Sunday is like that as we had last time. I'm sure today would be no less, if not better. And we have many eminent speakers like last time to interact with us and to discuss issues which are integral to the management of any organization and which are integral to the functioning of any organizational leader. We all realize that whatever vision we have, whatever thoughts we may have, whatever philosophy may we have, on this may not come to anything in case we don't have one thing, and that is resources. And when I talk about resources, I do not mean only money. It's human resources, our staff, our assets, our land, our furniture, our stakeholders, our well-wishers in the community. Everything is a resource. If we don't have the support of all these resources, if we don't have these resources in abundance, then whatever vision we may be having, it may be the noblest vision in the world, it would not work. It may not work. And therefore, we have somebody with us who has qualities which you will not find in her CV, but which I must share with you. She's a wonderful human being, an excellent writer and poetess. She is a very sensitive individual, a friendly person. And you may ask now, what is all this has to do with resources? Yes, these are important human resources. If you are a wonderful human being, if you are a friendly person, if you are a sensitive person, if you are a creative person, surely much of your task is already accomplished. Because whatever you may be doing in life, these qualities are essentials. But professionally, she is a well-known name and needs virtually no introduction, as is the case of in the case of all our speakers, perhaps. She is presently, Nandini, if I'm not wrong, the executive director of a very major organization of the country, which also has international recognition, the Blind People's Association, Ahmedabad, with whom AICB has always had very friendly, very cordial and excellent professional and personal relationship. I am not able to recall any seminar of AICB where either Bhushan Punani or Nandini would not be there. We try to include BP, and of course, I also do not recall perhaps any workshop or seminar or conference or ICA West Asia with which Nandini is deeply associated as a treasurer, and with many other international bodies. So see, she's a treasurer of ICE West Asia and ICB Global also, perhaps, Nandini?
Yeah, I'm of ICBA Global, yes.
Global also. So who could be a better person to talk to us about resources? So who is herself a wonderful resource, who has, along with Dr. Bhushan Punani, brought up the organization to a level which may be very difficult for many organizations in the country to achieve, through their hard work, networking, perseverance, vision, administrative skills, and you name anything. And who has made a name for herself across the world, not just as a resource manager, as treasurer, ICBA Global and IC West Asia, but also as a wonderful professional in the visual impairment sector, a true friend indeed. But the problem between me and Nandini is only one. We meet more often abroad than in India. Also, in virtual mode, we are hardly able to meet in India. In fact, my first meeting with Nandini was in Thailand, which was many years ago. So it's wonderful having you, Nandini, this morning. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time on a Sunday morning. I know you are a busy person, and Sunday, if at all it gives you any time, would be the only time you may have some hours. But you have spared those hours for us. We deeply appreciate. And as I said, we really look forward to your presentation, to your thoughts. And we know, we don't trust, we know that we are going to be very immensely benefited by this. Ms. Nandini Rao, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Anil, and thank you very much, Muthu, and thank you very much, Aishwarya. I will just share my screen. I welcome all our participants. I wish them a happy Holi, very good Sunday. And as they say in Holi, may the fires in your heart for enthusiasm and passion for your work never dim. May they always burn very, very bright. and may they help others along the way. I have a PowerPoint which is for my own benefit actually, more than the audience, but it will serve as a record for you, for your staff, and for you to, listen again and to read at your leisure. So I will just begin my PowerPoint. So I will start with mobilization of resources. Anil made my task a little easy by saying that resources are not only about the funding. So on my first slide, I have on the left-hand corner some grains in lovely colors. I have a big building. Then I have a classroom with a teacher teaching and children sitting and a blackboard and all kinds of equipments. And then I have a hospital, an operation theater with people and equipments and things like that. So from this itself, you will get an idea that we want resources for all these kind of things. These are the kind of things that we need resources for, maybe grains or maybe buildings or running our own schools or having healthcare programs for people with disabilities, run by people with disabilities, whatever. Yeah. So I'm predicting your thoughts just now. All of you I've heard are heads of organizations. I'm trying to predict your thoughts. The first thought I'm predicting is, what is new about this topic? If we all do it, what is Nandini going to tell us news that we don't know? What more can we learn today? But I leave that with a question that please judge after this presentation, okay? If you think that you are learning something, I will be very happy. Now, there are certain things that I want to challenge you in this 1 hour. I don't want to keep you bored because I have a very great respect for all of you. I know I don't want to preach to you. I don't want to teach to you or at you. I want to talk with you. I want to have a conversation with you, okay? So why do we need funds? Normally, nobody asks why we need funds. But let me tell you why we need funds. Because our funds help in the empowerment of people. Yeah, they result in community awareness. They result in the world knowing about our needs. They focus on our demands. They focus on our talents. We are doing the work of the society and the government. Actually, this is the job of the government in any welfare state to look after people who do not have access or who do not have opportunities. We are actually doing the work of the government. And most importantly, we are not asking for ourselves. This is a nishkam karma. It is a selfless task. So we should never, never be afraid or be shy or be ashamed of asking for funds. We are asking because people are not doing their job, right? So, but how do we at BPA summarize resource mobilization? I'm not giving you the definition of resource mobilization. At BPA, Blind People's Association Ahmedabad, this is what we call it. The art of getting people to give you what you want, where you want, when you want it, and for the purpose you have identified. Supposing I've identified a task that I want an Innova so that Muthu Selvi and her staff, when they travel for AICB projects, they should have a good vehicle, right? Now, in place of that Innova, if they give me a medical van or an ambulance, it is not what I've asked for, right? So it is not what I wanted. Supposing I've asked my donor that I want painting. I want my KG, the kindergarten staff of my school to be painted. And they give me desks and benches, which I don't need. That is not fundraising. So the art of getting what I want, when I want, where I want, to convince people to give me exactly what I want is what is actually resource mobilization. What is resource mobilization in BPA? For us, it is very important. It is establishing our brand, telling people that the identity of Blind People's Association is important. The identity of people with visual impairment is important. Their needs are important. Their self-respect is important. That is what I mean by establishing my brand, establishing our credibility. When you are in a small organization, you need to establish your credibility. People should believe in you that if they are giving to organization, for example, XXXY Social Service Society in Tamil Nadu, People should believe, oh, if I give to this society, oh, wonderful, Nalla, Romba Nalla, this is the best society to give to, right? Establishing that giving to you is the right thing to do. When people give you the money, they should feel, Are bah. I've given Anil Aneja, I've given Call Sab at AICB. It is the best thing I could have done. This is what we want people to believe. And it has to flow across the institution. Remember, only Muthu Selvi or Anil Aneja raising funds, it is not their responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the trustees or the top management. It flows from bottom to top and top to bottom, both ways. I will explain that also as we go along. I will only tell you anecdotes, remember that. I put a little picture which has a little pig, a piggy bank. Means when you break a piggy bank and only money comes out. So Guy Stringer is one gentleman who is the guru of fundraising. You can Google his name, Guystringer, Guy Stringer. He is the guru of fundraising. He says that we have to change the way we view fundraising. He says fundraising is and resource mobilization is not about money. Forget money. When you approach a donor, money is the last part that you should think about. How we do that, also I will tell you. So at BPA, we look differently. Every person, rich or poor, is a potential donor. Even in your own organization, you should try this. Yeah, every person, rich or poor, is a potential donor. Every person can give something. Is it not true? I have seen that the poorest person is ready to give the most. At our hospital in Bareja, whenever I've visited, I've seen one man who sits on the ground, standing, as they say, sitting on his leg, on his feet, like the villagers sit. Ubrak baitna Hindi mein kehte hain. He sits there every day he comes. So I asked my manager, does he want services? Is he a patient? Does he want money? They said, no, madam. Every day he takes two people from the hospital to his own home and gives them lunch. See, the hospital gives free lunch. He need not give, but that is his service to society. And you know his occupation? He is a poor rickshawala. In BPA, we have a Golgappa wala, Pani Puri wala, who is a very poor man. But every year, once a year, he feeds Golgappas to 1,000 people on the campus. According to me, this is a greater donation than that done by a billionaire, if you consider it as a proportion of his income. So every person can give something, from old clothes to newspapers to grains to time and to money. Or more importantly, he knows someone who can give money. We should tap this. Forget that this man cannot give. Look at every person with respect. Many times we are very mean to people who are not well dressed. We think they cannot donate. No, change your attitude about the way you look at them. Look at every person with respect. He may be your next donor. Our donor who has donated 70 lakhs to us, she possesses only 5 saris. She is a Gandhian. She lives in a one-room house. She was a teacher. She is not married. She has land and assets of 2.5 crore rupees. But her average expenditure on herself is only 15,000 rupees a month. She has pledged her entire money to BPA. When she came to meet us, we thought she was a patient who needs an operation free. But because of our attitude of looking at her differently, she has become a pakka donor. I will tell you how to make a donor pakka. First impression is last impression. In your institute, when a donor walks in, you may have a large institute spread over 5 acres. You may have a one-room office. But when a donor enters, first impression is last impression. Good vibes should begin at the gate. Donor should be properly greeted and directed. I've shown a photo of my institution. A donor is coming in his car. Our gatekeeper is folding his hands in namaste and smiling at him and asking him not to park properly. See, most times we spoil our impression by saying, "Yahan mat park karo, don't park here. Go to the side. You are banking with blind people." That puts people off because they don't know how blind people move. Our guy begins with saying, "Namaste, sir. Welcome to Blind People's Association. Whom would you like to meet here? We have 8 buildings. You may not be able to find your way. I'm here to guide you. So first impression is last impression. And as they say in Sanskrit, Shiyante khalu bhushanani satatam vak bhushanam bhushanam. Your speech is your greatest asset. Your smile is your greatest asset. The way you make people feel is the way they will remember you. As a very great philosopher has said, that people do not remember what you taught them. They remember how you made them feel in your class. Einstein has said this. Every penny is important, but more important is the visit by the donor to your organization, because he helps to create awareness. Fundraising and awareness are two sides of the same coin. Donors are your future employers of people with disability. They are your ambassadors. Remember, don't do only fundraising with them. If they belong to a large corporation, talk of money less and talk of employment, because it is better to teach a person how to catch fish than give him fish. Our job as an institution should not be to give charity to people with disabilities and make them dependent. Help them to become dependent by giving them jobs and demonstrating to the world that people with disabilities can do. And these ambassadors, whom you have carefully trained and nurtured, will do your work for you. You only have to speak sweetly and show people with disabilities who are working well. This gentleman will go out, as a result of which Ford, the largest car company in Gujarat who's making cars, they have employed 40 people with disabilities, out of which 15 are people with visual impairment. They came to us by saying that we believe in the abilities of disabled, but not in abilities of visually impaired. We said we are primarily an organization of people with visual impairment. You will have to employ people with blindness. Only then we will supply other people with disabilities. Resources in any country or any NGO, they do not just spontaneously emerge. Today morning you spoke, I want to raise 1 crore, and the door opens and Lakshmi Devi comes in with 1 crore. That doesn't happen. It is all about homework. The 3 H's, remember: homework, hard work. For hard work, you have to do your research. Go on the internet, see who is giving money, see the annual reports of other organizations, see who their donors are. From that, you will get an idea. Are they interested in people with disabilities? Are they giving to the field of disability? Find the interest of the donor. Has he lost somebody recently? Has his child gone away, expired? Have his parents expired? What was he in the past? Does he come from a poor background? Had he a problem with his education? Then he will sponsor programs with education. So this homework and hard work you have to do. We can optimize our resources by realizing. Now, this is a very important statement which I want you to remember, that fundraising is nothing but friend raising. Fundraising is nothing but friend raising. The more friends you raise, the cycle will continue. It's the multiplier cycle. It will multiply to people. So remember, fundraising is friend raising. So in the homework, there is in management something called the Pareto principle. It is known as the 80-20 principle, which means that 80% of the work in any, either a wedding or an institution or in the home, is done by only 20% of the people. The rest of the people do not contribute as much. So I'm explaining what the Pareto principle is. It states that for many outcomes, roughly 80% of consequences come from 20% of the causes. So the vital few. 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. So how does this come true in fundraising? If you analyze of AICB or BPA or your own organization, you will see 80% of our income comes from 20% of our donors. That shows that there are 3 to 4 or 30 to 40 large donors who will contribute 80%. The other 400, 500 donors will contribute only 20%. The logic, therefore, is that 80% of our effort should go into nurturing these 20% donors. If you have any questions about this, I will take them at the end. So we must see of our donors, who will become our friend. A friend is someone who will stay with us for a long time. See, what is the difference between an acquaintance and a friend? Acquaintance is somebody you meet and say, hi, hello, how are you? Facebook, friends. Your real friend will stand by you when you are in problems. They will stand by you when you really need them. So even in fundraising, we need to find out who are our friends who will stay with us for a long time. So we must analyze the donors we have. See who will continue to help us to sustain our programs. It is too expensive to communicate with all. Expensive, I mean, in the sense of time. Most of you must be volunteers with your organization if you are trustees. If you are managers like me, we are paid to do our work. But it is too expensive. We have so many other jobs to do. So we must identify and nurture those who can stay with us. I have shown something called a donor pyramid. You know what a pyramid is? It is broad at the bottom and becomes narrow as you go up. So at the bottom, I have the general public. On top of that, I have the acquaintances. On top of that, I have the friends who respond to you. On top of them, I have the best friends. And on top of that, I have the major sustaining donors. So from the general public, 100 people will walk in. 20 people will come and ask me, how much money do you need? What do you need? Out of that, 5 people will say, no, I want to give today, but I want to give next year also on my mother's death anniversary. Of that, somebody will tell me, I have given last year, but now I want to give forever. And finally, that person will say, I want to start a corpus fund, which is forever. So do this analysis. For this, you need somebody who is good in statistics. If you can't do it, call a college student, call somebody who is an intern, who is doing his MBA, his MSW, his law. He will help you. So finally, for this deal to go through, I told you it is about homework, hard work, but the third H, which is most important, is heart work. Your heart should move. You should be a sensitive and a sensible individual. You should know when not to tire the donor. Don't keep on ringing the donor and harass him. No, never do that. So heart work is very important. So making connections, know your donor's interest. Remember the names of the family. There is a donor called Jagdish Shah in my institution. He's a Jain. So from his religion, I know in what kind of work he will commit. He's very particular and he's very sentimental about birth dates. So I know that Jagdish Bhai is 8th December. His wife is 26th August. His marriage anniversary is 12th January. One day before, I tell my staff to remind me. If they forget, I remind them. See, there should not be any ego between the head of the organization and the staff. Call them before the important date. Keep connected, but don't suffocate the donor. Don't ask for money at that time. Just say, Jagdish Bhai, happy anniversary, happy birthday. I wish you the very best and I hope you remain in good health. Automatically, he will come on the day of his anniversary and give you money. Donor nurturing is very important. I have shown a picture where large donors have been called together in a very in-house kind of meeting. And Dr. Punani, we are all explaining something to the donors, showing charts and explaining to them over a cup of tea. So the personal touch is important, face-to-face contact, even if you are visually impaired. But for the donor who is sighted, he needs to see your face. So it's important that you see him, meet him, share information with him. If somebody in your organization has got an award, share with them. Use social media, use your media to show, okay, that this blind person whom we coached has become a manager in this bank and he's doing so well and he got this award. Small things which according to you are not important, but they're very important for the donor. Award the donor, appreciate him in public. When there is a big guest, call your donor, appreciate him. Give recognition in your newsletter and your media. I will share with you now a story of a young boy called Kintu. From now, my presentation will be largely of anecdotes, how we have got donations from different people and how we have kept their interest. This boy came to us 15 years ago. He was not interested. He was a lower middle class boy. He had lost his father to cancer. So he was very responsible, had started earning at a young age, very good in public speaking. He says, see, I don't understand anything. I don't have money. I like dancing. I like speaking in public. So I want to arrange a DJ night for your students. We said, fine. Please come. Let us arrange a DJ night. First time we arranged a DJ night, it was without mics, everything. Our students and trainees and all of us sang and danced. Next year, he got a volunteer who came with a drum set. He got a DJ. After that, that DJ night has become the talk of the town in Ahmedabad because more than 1,000 persons with disabilities joined in and they dance. But from this, Kintu started feeling that why am I only doing dancing? Because he started meeting these people with disabilities, started asking them, "Aap kya kar rahe ho? What are you doing? What would you like to do?" So a lot of people told them, we want to answer competitive exams, we want to go to college, we don't have money to pay fees, BPA is helping us, but we still need fees, money to stay in an expensive place like Ahmedabad. There is not enough place in BPA hostels. He started raising funds from small events. And this boy has raised more than 2 crore rupees for us over the years for the empowerment of persons with disabilities. He does not give the money to BPA many times. Sometimes he gives, sometimes he calls people with disabilities on the campus and directly encourages the donor to give. We have no problem. For us, people with disabilities are important. Whether BPA gets the money is not important. That's why I said, don't forget why you're raising funds. What is your ultimate mission and vision? Does the organization want to become rich, or do you want to do what your core job is, empowering people with disabilities? See, there is a photo where there are hand carts given to cross disabilities, including people with visual impairment, who are selling vegetables, who are selling all kinds of food stuff, idli stand on these hand carts. Here is Kintu, very young looking boy. He is giving a girl with a disability a beauty parlor kit so that she can set up her own beauty parlor business in her own house. So how do we get about doing resource mobilization? Do your need assessment. Always have a wish list ready. You must have a list ready when people come to you. Don't think at that time, Arey, Muthu, what do we want for next year? Anil, what do you think we should tell this donor in front of the donor? Never do that. Always keep a proposal ready, not one proposal, many proposals ready. In any organization, there should be 3 kinds of people. Remember, one is called the mover and shaker, who is the trustee or the rich person who knows other rich people, who will open the door for you. Then people like me, who are the talkers and the convincers, will go to them. But the end, at the end, you have this office who does all the proposal making and all this other work. They are the quiet people. They are the thread, and you see a very large necklace or a beautiful mala. You see the flowers and the beads. You don't see the thread which holds the necklace. These people are that thread who keep everything at the back end ready for you. The proposals are ready. You just have to write them. The first proposals, remember, are written by the executives and they're given to these people, and then they, on the basis of that, start making other proposals. Don't play passing the parcel with the donor. I will send to Bhushan Punani, Bhushan Punani will send to Vimal Tawani, will send to Bharat Joshi. If you do that, donor delayed is donor lost. Remember that. Always have a wish list ready. I have just written a small wish list which says, in my hospital, I need 2 water beds for 10,000 rupees. I need 100 blankets. I need 1 jhula swing I need 100 eye surgeries. I need new equipments for 5 lakhs. This I'm just giving an example. You should always have this kind, not only a brochure. I mean, a new wish list which is made almost every 10 days, so that the donor also realizes, he sees that you're tick marked, he sees you're genuine. If you give an old wish list, he'll say, Array, from 5 years, you have the same list. You are not able to raise money. So remember, it should be new, renewed. So successful resource mobilization. See, we are Gujaratis. For 1 rupees worth, we want more than 100 paisa. We want 120 paisa. So donor should give more than he had planned. If he's come to meet me in my office to give me 5,000 rupees, fine. 5,000 is welcome. If he leaves giving me 25,000 rupees or 1 lakh and tells me, Nandini Ben, when do you have time again? I would like you to come and visit my friend. So point number 3, donor should bring another friend or should introduce you to somebody else. Yeah, so one donor is introducing us. The photo shows that we are putting a garland on, we are felicitating one donor because he has brought in so many other donors to our hospital. And he should come again and again and bring another donor. Navalbhai and Hiraba Porecha, our eye hospital, we began in 2003. The land was given by one person, but the lady that I told you about, this lady who I told you has a one-room house, her name is Vasanti Ben. She has given more than 70 lakh rupees, but she brought her uncle, the previous photo that I told you about. His name is Vittal Bhai Gatorbe. He is a man who has only one son who stays abroad. This man has got crores of rupees. He donated more than 1 crore rupees of BPA because his niece, Vasanti Ben, donated us. See, so all these things are related. If niece has donated, uncle will donate. If friend has donated, another friend will donate. So fundraising is about relationships, networking, expansion. So this Vittal Bhai Gatorbe, as I said, donated 70 lakhs. He gave another 30 lakhs just now. I told you one principle that out of acquaintances, nurture some people who will become your friend. A couple called Bela Ben and Yogesh Bhai once just wrote to us an email that we are staying in the USA. We heard about your organization. In what way do you think? So I wrote them a letter, greetings. See, your letter also should be very, very personal. Do not write the letters that they taught you in school to be very official. No, your letters to a donor have to be very personal. You have to put in your love. So I said, greetings, Yogesh Bhai and Bela Ben. So happy to hear from you that you are originally from India, now based in the USA. And I know that being an Indian, your heart must be truly placed in India. You must be loving India. And how do you think you can help people of India to develop like you have developed? This is the kind of letter you must write. After I wrote to them, then they asked me that what? I said, which part? I knew they were from Bareja, where our eye hospital is. I said, what is the best way to pay a tribute to your motherland and to the place where you were born? Best thing is by sponsoring projects there. So slowly cultivated them. They gave for one Bhojan Shala, means only dining hall. Then gave for 3 theaters. And now they have pledged for an eye hospital. See, this nurturing has taken place over 8 years. First time they come, they will give you 10,000 rupees. They will also check you. You will also check them. It's like when you go to see a girl, you will check everything about the families. That's why I said your research is important, homework is important. Then you have to jive with each other. Looking at them, they should feel that they can trust you. You should feel that you can trust them. Then slowly a relationship builds. Then you build in trust. Then you give more and more inputs. So don't rush. In English, it is said, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. So tread very softly. There is another poem which says that tread softly, for you tread on my dreams. Don't do that. Go very softly. Maybe he has lost somebody in the house. Don't ask straight away. Let him tell that there is a sad occasion in the family. So be very polite, be very diplomatic, be very sincere. Don't put on an act. People can see through your act. Things to remember for all of you young administrators, that plan for administrative expenses through corpus funds which can be capitalized. You can capitalize the fund that is allowed and you can use the interest. So through the interest, you can run your activities. And one way of getting corpus funds is to sponsor names of buildings or projects. If you don't have any new buildings, say we will call the parent counseling project after Muthu Selvi parent counseling project. Muthu Selvi gives us 10 lakh rupees, 8% interest, 80,000 rupees we use every year for the next till our institute is for running parent counseling services or training services. So that way your institution has permanent money for running a project. Now, what is resource mobilization? This is what Guy Stringer has said. So now I'm telling you that help people discover the joy of giving. See, if you read the psychology of human beings don't like to give anything away. Even when your hair is cut, you say, I lost my hair. When you cut your nails, you feel, my nails are gone. They are not useful to you. But we don't like giving. That is human nature. We only mothers out of the human being species will always give selflessly. They give to their offspring, they give to nature. So basically, we give to children, but other people's children, we may not give it. So to make people give away their money is the most difficult thing you can do. And by giving, if you make people happy, I gave money, I'm very happy today. That is the best thing to do. So I've shown a girl dressed as Santa Claus who has got a gift from us or from anyone. And she's so happy. She says, wow, I have given money to you. You make me feel very good. So enable people to feel good by the act of giving. So when we ask for funds, remember, don't ask for money. Say, we are not asking for money. We are asking you to invest in an important cause. What is that? I've shown a photo of a lady with hypermature cataract. She cannot see with that eye. So what am I telling the donor? Don't give me money. Look at this woman. She is poor. She needs your help. Ask them to give the gift of sight. Who becomes more important? The donor. And who is in the picture? The donee, who is going to get the gift of sight. I am only an instrument through surgery. So resource mobilization is find a source, unite the giver and the donor. So here there is a happy anniversary, Sunita Ben and Vatsal Bhai, it says. And it says they have come here on their 50th anniversary and they are doing eye donation work. And we are uniting the patients with these people. So they are feeling very happy. So do that. Make the giver happy. When somebody gives money and you recognize him and you tell him that, wow, what a wonderful job you have done. You made 100 people see again. See, everybody likes to feel good. Everybody likes to feel less guilty that somebody else is suffering. But they feel good and less guilty when they feel, oh, because of me, this man is not suffering. See, so they are cutting a cake on their anniversary, they are feeling very happy. But resource mobilization is a very ethical discipline. It is very ethical. Being ethical pays. So don't claim funds for the same purpose, same project from two sources. Companies will come and check records, and they should. And especially when I talk about CSR in the next 5 minutes, which is the new tool of fundraising, if you are ethical, more money will come. Remember, the more honesty in our field, the more it pays, the more open you are, the more transparent you are. See, it's like going on a mountaintop. If you go on a mountaintop and shout, you are a thief, what will the echo say to you? You are a thief. But if you say, God, I love you, nature is beautiful, the same echo will come back to you. So transparency is like a mirror. What you show in the mirror will come back to you. So don't be a thief. People will catch you. So resource mobilization can be in kind. Don't only ask for money. If you want furniture, tell the donors to buy the furniture. Believe me, they will buy better furniture than you and I will buy. We are middle class people. We think about buying low cost furniture. If you tell the donor to buy furniture, he'll buy good furniture for you. You can ask for grains, you can ask for furniture, you can ask for good offices. It's not only money. Recently, this I'm telling specially to Muthu Selvi and Anil Aneja. We filed a petition against the government of Gujarat because they were not giving grants to organization. Once the staff had retired, they were not giving new staff. Actually, it's not new staff. It's just replacement of staff. Use of good offices. A young boy used to come and report to us as an intern when he was doing his internship in the School of Law. When he became a lawyer, his father is also a lawyer. He said, the first petition I will do is to help you against the government. And believe me, we have won the petition. But his good offices, he has not donated a single paisa, but he saved us lakh of rupees in the petition. But to do fundraising, you need a fundraising department. If you grow larger, there has to be a dedicated team for this purpose. And you have to train the team. It is the people at the top who have to train the team. They have to be taught to quantify their needs and how to approach a donor, speaking to a donor. Supposing there are 3 people in a team, all the people should not speak at the same time because you may be likely to contradict yourself. Supposing somebody has asked 10 lakhs, somebody before knowing what he has speaks 5 lakhs. Donor will say, these guys don't know what they want. They are cheating us. So always plan. If one person is speaking, wait. All don't speak together. In resource mobilization, you need good communication. Tell the donors what they want to know, not what you want to know. We in the field are very technical. We will write visual rehabilitation. We will write about economic empowerment, orientation and mobility training, sound localization, object reference. People don't understand this language. They don't understand what this means in plain English. So use plain English, simple English, appeal to the heart. So tell the donors what they want to know. They want to know what are your needs. Acha, you want educational material? Okay, we'll give you. Don't tell them typoscope. Don't tell them goniometer. They don't know what is a goniometer. Don't tell them what is, any other Bonham device. They're wondering, what is this Bonham device? Does it send the rocket to the moon? No, don't tell them such things. Tell them we need things for mathematics for blind people. Have good communication, but the material should be short, crisp, appealing. It should have lots of photographs because see, all the people that you're appealing to mainly have eyesight. And if you don't have good staff who can make this communication, we don't have on our organization. We don't do it ourselves. Take the use of students. On an average, every day at BPA, I have 40 volunteers who come in every day. They do different things. They take people around, show them around. They help us in designing material. They help to update our website. They help to go on our Facebook and media. So take help of such students. This is just a story. I do not need to you. It is about a lady called Wali Ben, whose eye is shown without cataracts. You can make out she's a poor person. And how we helped her, we have to send that to donors. So fundraising now has changed. Now the most important last 10 minutes of my presentation, that the new FCRA law is very strict, the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Funding agencies cannot fund you. CBM, site savers, anybody who has FCRA cannot give to another FCRA agency. They will have to raise the funds in the country to give you. You will have to raise your own funds. Or these agencies will have to show these projects as run by themselves. You will have to give them the original vouchers. FCRA rule is very strict. It does not allow more than 20% on admin as against 50% allowed earlier. INGOs will be curtailed in their operations. We will have to get Indian donors. So what do we do? We'll have to think outside the box. We'll have to think about new things to do. When one door closes, remember, many other doors and windows open. And I have written there that CSR is the new Lakshmi. I have shown a medical van which is donated by a foundation. I have shown something very important to all of you people with visual impairment. Technology Museum is the next photograph, which says Union Bank sponsors Technology Museum. It is the only museum in India which we have made at BPA, which shows all technology for people with visual impairment in one room, in one 20 by 20 space, which shows starting from Stensby, shorthand writers to the most elaborate technology which is kept. And just now, COVID, nobody is coming, but there is to be hundreds of people who come and see these things. So when they see this, then at the end of it, they say, can we donate an Orbit, reader? Can we donate something? So keep proposals ready, keep such demonstration material ready, show this to people. They have never seen what is an Orbit reader. They don't know how blind people use smartphones. I have given a list of CSR partners. You can just Google and give CSR. Largest is Indian Oil, Reliance, Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, Tata Motors. All of these people can help you. The total budget in the country is 50,000 crores. And sad to say, even 5,000 crores was not used last year. I have given some people who have helped us. Bandhan Bank for expansion of eye hospital, LIC for building. Then I have shown a company called Poxo, which has helped to build solar. They have not given us the money. They built solar panels on top of our building. Imami has given us an operation theater. But so these people have given us for recurring expenses. Bandhan Bank and Poxo. See, in CSR, the largest money you will get is for Swachh Bharat, Smart Class, education, health. So Canara Bank last month in January gave us money for a Smart Class. So 2 lakh rupees worth of equipment where visually impaired people can be taught with the use of a smart board. An entire toilet block has been constructed by Poxo company. They have not given us the money, but they've built a toilet block worth more than 10 lakh rupees. Good for us. Even in my own house, I don't have such beautiful toilets. Online fundraising, the largest and the most untapped ocean. You should all try it. This is a fundraising place called See Your Impact, where BPA is registered. After I finish my talk, I will give you my email ID. All of you can write to me because see, certain questions cannot be answered in 5 minutes. I will give you my email and I will give you my WhatsApp number. We can communicate through that. Now is something that I wish all of you could have seen. I wish for 2 minutes God could have given you eyes. This is something called Global Giving, which is again an online platform worldwide. It's an international platform. We started with 100 or $200. We have to start with minimum $2,000. Sorry. So all of us gave $10, $15 and initially started it. Our donors helped us. Now we have raised $176,000 through Global Giving, which is 1.3 crores in the past 2 years through Global Giving. And they check your reporting pattern. So they have given us a superstar status. We are ranked 338 in the world, which is not bad because they deal with more than 5,000 agencies. So another thing that at BPA we have done is on our website, there is a ticker tape, a scroll which goes around. See here I'm reading Mr. Rajpati, 1,500 rupees, Mr. Premji Bhai Thodu, 1,000 rupees. Every day, yesterday's donors are shown on the website. And if you go on donors, click on donors and show you last month donors, last year's donors, we keep the donors up to 3 years. So people can always go and check. This is for transparency. So acknowledge your donors on your website, on your publications. More than social relationships, the next page is on Facebook. And the Facebook page shows, Facebook these recently has started, all of you who are on Facebook will know, share your birthday and raise funds. We raise 4,000 rupees every day on Facebook through people who are celebrating birthdays by us talking to them, acknowledging them, helping them how they can celebrate their birthdays. And total, we have raised more than 60 lakh rupees through Facebook. I have given all the online platforms that you can raise funds through. Give India, HDFC Bank, PayU Gateway, Razorpay, Dana Mojo, Global Giving, Positive Site, Voice of SAP. What we have done for, there is SBI, I've forgotten to write. When SBI came and asked us to give us, deposit, we told them that in your SBI at every ATM counter, why don't you add one small thing? When you go to an ATM, you have to register your number, you'll get the money, how much money. There are options in that. We told them to add a last option, donate to BPA. That option has helped us to raise lakhs of rupees every year. Credentials are important. I have put the Credibility Alliance has given us assurance that we are a desirable norms, not basic norms, desirable. And Global Giving has top ranked, effective, vetted organization. And whenever a donor comes or writes to you, don't start searching. Keep your bank details and everything is soft copy. Immediately you can upload. So here I've shown Bank of India, branch name, account number, name of account, 9-digit MICR number, current SWIFT code, everything I've mentioned. The moment I have it on WhatsApp, all my staff has it on WhatsApp. We have it on email. We have it on desktop on our computers. The moment somebody asks us, we just send it across, because under any new proposal now, under CSR or any corporate, without all this and without you giving them your PAN number, soft copy of your registration certificate, your memorandum of association, nobody will be able to give you money. Have a QR code. QR code you can make free of charge from the net. Keep a QR code which people can scan and donate generously, or they can see your video film. Do that. These are new ways of doing fundraising. Use volunteers, save staff costs. Bodawala is our doctor who comes free of charge. Upasna comes and teaches yoga, and also she does marketing of BPA. She is a rich person. Talk to different people. Why don't you come to BPA? Visit BPA. She has these kitty parties where she says, come and spend your birthday at BPA. We had this girl, I've given her as an example, that we have from Germany every year, 2 students who come from Germany. 1 year is a long time. What work to give them? This girl, she did not know why she had come. She was a very depressed person, but she discovered she could paint. The entire building number 3, which is our special needs department, the entire building has been painted by her with flowers. There is a zoo theme. There are animals. It took her 1 year to paint. Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel. So she is our Michelangelo. Judith from Germany. There is Mr. Chitkara, who was a retired director from a company. He helps us in resource mobilization. He helps us to open the door. Remember, I used the word mover, shaker, then the talker, and then the end office. So he will help us to open doors. Cost recovery, you can do it through mobile towers if you want. If you think ethically you don't want to put in mobile towers because of radiation, don't do it. If you feel it is okay, do it. Hoardings on your property. From this hoarding, we raise about 36 lakhs because we are right on the main road, very prominent road. We raise 3 lakh rupees per month through this hoarding. It's right on top of our terrace. Doesn't hurt us in any way. We get 36 lakh rupees from that. Cost recovery through training programs. The best way to do is, like I told Anil Aneja, I said, don't give me funds for my talk. Keep it in the AICB. You can keep it. This is the way you can raise your funds, through training programs. It's a very good source of fundraising. Give your facilities on rent. Give your, conference room on rent. 1,000 rupees a day, 2,000 rupees, depends on which city or which town you are. Give it for Lions Club meetings. Give it for kitty party meetings. They will give you money, but more importantly, visitors are important. Visibility is important. Awareness is important. They may not give you money. They will carry a good impression about you. That is important. Sale of products is important. Make something, sell something. And wise investment. Don't keep funds in savings account at 4% interest. Take an investment helper. Call Dr. Bhushan Punani and ask him how to keep your funds. Ask how you can get 8 to 12% interest. Keep in government approved securities. Ask an investment consultant. I said, now ask for his honorary services. And ground rules, last 2 slides. You don't get what you don't ask for. If you don't ask, you don't get. See, if you're in love with somebody, you have to tell them. You have to write a love letter. Otherwise, you will get married somewhere else, she will get married somewhere else. And you all will meet after 40 years. Too late, no? It's better you tell them. So, what you don't ask, you don't get. So, ask shamelessly. Remember, it is not for yourself. And don't underestimate the donor. Don't look at a donor and say, Arey, she, he will give me only 1,000 rupees. Never underestimate. Always think he can give the most. Always be positive. In Corona, one should not be Corona positive, but in fundraising, one must always be positive. One must always be optimistic. One must always assume. He bahut acha dega. He will give very much. If he will not give, his friend will give. The more optimistic you are, the more positive vibes you create, the more people will be attracted to your personality, the more they will feel like talking to you, the more they will feel like interacting with you. Remember, attraction is very important. Physical attraction for a donor to come to your organization, whether for the building, for the people, for you, or for whatever. Again, as I said, it should be an altruistic cause. So don't underestimate the donor. Don't undersell yourself. Why do you think that no, I'm very shy. I cannot ask for money. Of course you can ask. It's not for yourself. So ask for money. Ask for things. People will appreciate what you're doing. And finally, if something goes wrong, tell the truth. Say you're sorry. My fundraising officer, Meera Ben, used to always say that a fundraising officer should have at least 4 pockets. Namaste, salam, good morning, how are you? Sorry, thank you, please come again. She used to say these things are very needed for a fundraiser. Remember to say thank you. Remember again and again, you must say thank you, whether they give you money or not. Say thank you, sir, because you are there. We are growing so much. It is people like you whom we are grateful for. And always have a thank you card. Whenever you give a donation, give a thank you letter. Sign it yourself. You're not so busy that you cannot sign. Write a thank you card. See, this is a small child with visual impairment. You have to ask the child's permission, remember, for using him. And write a thank you card. And I've written on it that extending one hand to help is closer to God than joining 2 hands in prayer. So have a thank you card. To the friends of BPA, there is one card which shows thank you in Braille. It shows thank you in sign language. It shows a child reading Braille. And it shows a girl with rubella syndrome who's deaf-blind, whose face is smiling. And she says, thanks for lighting a light. Thanks for making our future bright. Thanks for sharing our vision. Thanks for helping us in realizing our mission. Thanks for stopping for a while and making our children smile. So these are the kind of cards that you can have. Share your information through a newsletter, annual report. Keep this in soft form on your website, through email. Keep people informed. And the last reality that the work is there. Fundraising is very important in an organization. But unfortunately, I've shown a broken heart in this. The passion for fundraising is only amongst a few people. We have not been able to inculcate it in many organizations amongst other staff. The project staff say, Arey, this is not our work. This is your job, fundraising people. But if you didn't have a project, there would be no funds. But if there were no funds, there would be no project. It's a chicken and egg story. And you have to convince the staff that they have to, each one has to raise funds. So we need to rekindle the passion amongst that staff. And in short, charity is a matter of not of wealth, but of the heart. So maintain the relation, know your donor, and use any method that works. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity for talking to all of you. And I will be very happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Nandini. It was really a wonderful experience as always. And as always, one could just go on listening to you and in rapture. You speak in such a mesmerized manner, really wonderful, and very important tips for our organization, very important, I won't say tips, very important path that we need to take for our resource generation in our organizations. Perhaps some of you may be doing some of the things. If not, today is the day they should start doing these things. And there's one area when there should be a clear, visible difference seen in your work would be resource generation. Because after Nandini's wonderful uh, inputs, directions, inputs on in the area of resource generation, if you still cannot implement these, then we need to call Nandini again to inspire you, which would be very nice.
I would love to do that. I just, Anil, I just want to repeat again that, this year, foreign funding agencies will have a problem giving money unless they give directly to you, but not through any other channel because of FCRA. So they must raise funds and become sustainable. They cannot depend on donors forever. We must raise our own funds and become sustainable. That's all, Anil. Please.
And it's important. Yeah, it's very important that fundraising and resource generation is a very important activity, which is monitored directly by somebody who is empowered in your organization.
We have a question from Aranga Raja. He's from CSGAB.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
You're giving you're sharing a lot of ideas for fundraising. Madam, you actually you're giving ideas. It's all of this applicable for scheme-based associations or organizations. Actually, we are working with working for rights-based. Sorry, I'm speaking Tamil. Muthuchelvi will translate you, madam.
Okay.
Akka, please don't
sure, go on.
Please don't hide my words.
Madam, no, I'm not going to hide your words.
Okay. நாங்க வந்துட்டு ரைட்ஸ் பேஸ்ட் தான் தமிழ்நாட்டில் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். இப்போ ஈவன் ஏசிபிக்கு கூட அவங்க ஸ்கூல் வச்சிருக்காங்க. எல்லாருமே ஒரு ஆர்கனைசேஷன் பேஸ்ட் ஏதாவது ஸ்கீம் பேஸ்ட்ல ஏதாவது ஒன்று வச்சு ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அதனால அவங்களுக்கு ஃபண்ட் ரைசிங் ரொம்ப அதிகமாக வருது. ஸோ எங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு ஃபண்ட் ரைசிங் ரைட்ஸ் பேஸ்டு வெறும் அஜிடேஷன் ஃபண்டு அந்த மாதிரி கேட்டால் வந்துட்டு யாரும் தரதில்லை. அந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களை எப்படி நாங்கள் வாங்கிறது? இன்ஃபேக்ட் இந்த ரைட்ஸ் பேஸ்டில் என்ன பிரச்சனைனா, நம்ம கிட்டத்தட்ட கவர்மெண்ட்க்கு அகேன்ஸ்டாக தான் ஒர்க் பண்ண போகிறோம். கவர்மெண்ட்க்கு அகேன்ஸ்டாக தான் கேஸ் போட போகிறோம். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களுக்கு எப்படி நாங்கள் வந்துட்டு ஃபண்ட் ரைஸ் பண்ணுறது? ஒன்று. ரெண்டாவது, இந்த காம்படேட்டிவ் ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ஸ் இருக்காங்க இல்லையா? இப்போ எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு நான் ஒரு விஷயம் ரொம்ப பெயின்ஃபுல்லாக நான் இந்த விஷயத்தை வந்துட்டு உங்ககிட்ட ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். லாஸ்ட் இயர் வந்துட்டு நாங்கள் வந்துட்டு ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் தமிழ்நாட்டில் ஸ்கீம் பேஸ்ட் அசோசியேஷன் எல்லாம் ரொம்ப வசதியானவங்களா தான் இருக்காங்க. ரைட்ஸ் பேஸ்டாக இருக்கிற ஒரே அசோசியேஷன் சிஎஸ்ஜேபி, அவங்க எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும். அதனாலே என்னமோ தெரியல, நாங்கள் ரொம்ப ஏழ்மையாக தான் இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் இருக்கோம். ஒரு முறை என்ன பண்ணோம், போன வாட்டி நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி அந்த சிஎஸ்ஆர் ஃபண்ட் ரைஸ் விஷயமா ஒரு ப்ரைவேட் கார்பரேட் கம்பெனி கிட்ட நாங்கள் ஃபண்ட் ரைஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தோம். ஒரு 5 lakhs அமௌண்ட்டில் காலேஜ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்காக ஒரு இது பண்ணியிருந்தோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் இயர் அதை வந்துட்டு எங்களால் வாங்க முடியல. லாஸ்ட் வீக் நம்ம மீட்டிங்ல வந்து பேசின ஒரு ட்ரஸ்டி அவங்களோட அசோசியேஷனுக்கு அந்த கார்பரேட் கம்பெனியை இது பண்ணி அவங்க சின்னவங்க அப்படி இப்படின்னு பேசி எங்ககிட்ட இருந்த அந்த பெரிய அந்த கார்பரேட் கம்பெனியை வந்துட்டு அவங்க பக்கம் கூட்டிட்டு போயிட்டாங்க. அவங்களும் ரொம்ப பெருசா இருக்கிறதுனால, ரொம்ப பெருசா ஒர்க் பண்ணிக்கிற மாதிரி காட்டிக்கிறதுனால அவங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ண போயிட்டாங்க. இந்த வருஷம் எங்களுக்கு இல்ல, உங்களுக்கு ஒர்க் பண்ண முடியாது, அவங்களுக்கு தான் ஒர்க் பண்ண முடியும், அவங்க தான் வந்துட்டு பெருசா பண்றாங்க. ஏன்னா அவங்க போட்டோஸ் எல்லாம் பெருசா கொடுக்கறதுனால அவங்களுக்கு ஒர்க் பண்ண போயிட்டாங்க. இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களை நாங்க எப்படி வந்துட்டு மேனேஜ் பண்றது?
Okay.
Can I translate?
Yeah, please translate.
Yes. I will just translate what he asked. So his first question was, like he said, the inputs are very valuable. We can also use it in their organization. But his question was, he's saying it's a bit easy for the organization who has several schemes to raise funds. He says organization like College Students and Graduates Association of the Blind, they are exclusively working for the rights of the visually impaired people. They agitate with government for like they file cases against government. So even he says, even ASCB has schools and other schemes, so they can raise funds. He's saying when an organization which is exclusively working for the cause of the visually impaired people, to protect the rights, only to agitate, to file case, So that kind of organization, how we can, because people are not ready to fund for this advocacy sort of work. So he's saying how we can raise funds on this ground. So, and his second question was, last year they have approached one big corporate company in CSR project, and they were about to give 5 lakhs. He's saying a similar organization who works for the persons with the disability, they shows that they are doing a big kind of thing. They are a big organization. So they have got this fund of 5 lakh rupees and they have diverted the fund to their organization. So he's asking how we can handle this kind of situation. These are his questions.
Yeah, sure. He is very right. It's what he means is a service delivery organization will always find it easy to raise funds. I totally agree with him. And even under FCRA, if you read the fine print, anybody who does agitations and all, FCRA is also not given. Very sadly, this is true. And if you are doing any kind of advocacy or agitation work, FCRA, you cannot get FCRA. The new government is very strict about this. It is very sad. But I would say that he has to sell his work in a different way. He doesn't have to call it agitation. If he is doing, for example, printing of pamphlets for information creation, then every CSR has money for IEC, information, education, and communication. He should raise funds under that. But I agree with him that if he does not have an organization which is a service delivery organization, it is difficult to raise funds. I totally agree with him. But then he should ask people who are the service delivery organization to give him money. The guy who got his 5 lakh rupees, that organization should have given him the money for doing their work. In many cases, BPA helps people who are running, these kind of advocacy and agitation agencies. So they come to us with their bills and they come to us with their recurring expenses and we support them. So that is one way of raising.
If I may add something, Nandini.
Yeah.
We do a lot of advocacy at AICB and we are able to raise funds for that also. So raising funds for advocacy is difficult, but not impossible. Don't give up like that. There are other ways that, for instance, what do we need for advocacy? We need infrastructure, a computer, printer, whatever. We need staff of various kinds to process information and communication. We need lawyers to fight our cases. I mean, broadly I'm putting, and we need some people who have domain knowledge. Now, domain knowledge is available with the leaders of the organizations. Obviously, that's why you're doing advocacy. Otherwise, you would not be doing it if you didn't have the domain knowledge. Now, as far as staff is concerned, as Nandini said, you can raise fund under that you require is staff for public relation and communication, information designing and communication. Under that, you can, or secretarial assistance. These are the heads under
or even in a project, Anil.
Or in a project,
you write 8% of your expenses for administrative expenses. Most CSR agencies agree to these expenses. As you said, that you need not write that we are agitating. You can write we are advocating. Right. Because even this training that you are doing is part of information, education, communication, and advocacy.
And advocacy. This is advocacy, but we are not calling it advocacy. We are calling leadership and fight.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and then the biggest expense in lawyers. Now, that's the easiest thing to do because there are many advocates, many you would find who would like to do social sector cases for the sake of visibility, name. So what do? When we do a case and such a success, we put the lawyer's name also in our communications. That a case was argued by so-and-so. If there's a press release, we give the lawyer's name. So they get name and visibility. We acknowledge the lawyers in different ways on various platforms. And if you approach lawyers, they say, this is an issue we want to take up, but we cannot pay. You would get. Now we are able to pay our lawyers. But there was a time when we could not pay for our lawyers. Even then we did advocacy. I remember the first 4 years that I did advocacy, we had no money. So I said, okay, we will fight cases only in the Chief Commissioner's office and I'm going to argue the cases myself. So since we had won the cases, we made a branding from there. Then lawyers also got interested in us. Yes, they are winning cases, they are fighting, these are good issues. So these are the ways. If you can't go to High Court, go to Commissioner.
And as I said, fundraising is not only money. You must raise the good offices of these lawyers who can help you. That
And
is
then there are law.
building.
Yes, yes. So lawyer is very important. Then there are law firms. And if you can offer that you are doing commercial work, perfect. Handpass also do some social work by providing this infrastructure support or whatever. They may be willing to help. There are different ways, but it's not that money would never come. Yes, we also face a situation in ACB. Rather, the kind of question you asked, I asked a similar question from Mr. Husbek, who was NABP Norway in 2002. I had asked a similar question in a conference because service delivery, how do you embed advocacy? And he told us some strategies. We followed those. Those have been successful. And then I said, no, it's not for advocacy. You do get money for other things. And at least whatever your budget is, 10% should always be kept for advocacy. You need to give me a minute. We can take the next question, Ajay, and come back to you.
Ma'am, his next question, can you answer that also? How to handle a similar organization trying to divert the fund of other organization?
See that another organization taking away its funds, you cannot go and fight with the CSR. You have to be able to write your own proposal in such a way that you get funds and they don't get funds. You have to write your proposal, have networking properly. See, competition will always remain. No, we cannot help that. So that, I mean, is not an answer at all because somebody else takes away your money. I'm sorry about that. You should sell your product better and have better relationships is what I will say. Your project should be written better. Your relationship should be better. And you should be clear that I want to say create awareness amongst 50 blind people. This is my cost. I need a computer. I need this. I'm sure agencies will give. You only have to know how because each one of them has formats. Now the old world of writing on a letter pad and sending for proposals has gone. So every CSR partner or everybody has a corporate agency has a format. So you have to write it accordingly. Yeah, and if he wants, I've written my email, nandinibp@gmail.com. My number is 93275472213. If he sends me his email, I can send him proposals also. How we can use them. He can just remove BP name and put his own name.
Yeah.
You can't get a more generous person to who is she willing to share her PowerPoints, as she offered in the beginning, who's willing to share her email, her proposal. You see, you need to be large-hearted. If you want to receive something, you have to give. It's important. Those times are gone when we can only be recipients. If we want from society, no. First, you have to offer. And when people see you doing an offering, then come around. It's a long process. It's not going to happen in 6 months. But as said, I'm sure even if you have a budget of 2 lakh rupees, 1,50,000, spend 5,000 for advocacy and gradually increase that. There's nothing to stop you from doing that. So yeah, thank you very much.
But
Nandini.
only, as I said, you have to sell it differently. I'll give an example. We got funds from IOC, Indian Oil Corporation, for exactly what a doctor has asked me. We did it for advocacy for creating street plays on mental illness. See, you have to sell it and make it differently. You just can't put it under the word agitation because I think that is the wrong word. We agitate and we confront only when cooperation and collaboration doesn't work.
That's
Is
right.
it not?
That should be the last resort. Last
No.
resort. I would say even
If
after
you want to
legal
create
activism.
awareness about your work, do it through street plays, do it through, meeting people rather than demonstration. And we got more than 3 lakh rupees and we did street plays in more than about 300 places in Gujarat. So you have to put in a lot of hard work and a lot of hard work in preparing the proposal. We prepared a team of 15 visually impaired persons. This was not done with other people. We created these visually impaired actors who were paid for every episode. That's why they were also happy. And IOC gave us money. So we did these plays all over Gujarat on visual impairment with special emphasis on mental illness, depression, how people these days are prone to schizophrenia. So we took this whole thing because they wanted to give money only for mental illness. But we use visually impaired actors. See, this is how you use your intelligence.
So demonstration can go in the name of sensitization.
Exactly.
So that you don't say that you sensitize the community.
Yes.
Speech plays are also a form of demonstration.
It is. Yes.
So you see there are innovative ways, even in advocacy. It's not that's not possible, but you have to think hard and you have to be you know, you have to give time to these things, you know.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. This is Nagarajan. It is a very extensive talk, ma'am. I think it's a very great approach, a good opportunity to have this kind of lecture like this. Concerning with the organizations, ma'am, of course, every organization's raising a fund is a very great challenge, which I know very well, of course. But comparing with that, there are organizations working for the blind and there are organizations working off the blind. In this case, for the blind, as Sir said, sensitization, where in which they can easily sensitize for the blind than by the blind, in which they can raise more funding than by the blind. Is it because of the attitude of the society or in which the way in which the organization's behaviors? I think you got my response, right?
I might just respond before Nandini says something.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, just as one sentence. Nagarajan, National Federation of the Blind USA is
Yes,
an
sir.
off the blind organization, and it has, I think, more funds than any other organization in the
In
world.
the world,
perhaps.
okay, yeah.
ONCE in Spain is an off the blind organization. They have more funds than perhaps most organizations in the world. So let's not make the distance. I don't think that's the way, but Nandini will take the question. She's the
See,
same.
let me tell you, a person with visual impairment is a person with visual impairment. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
How does
Yes.
it matter off or for?
No, why it is? Why
No,
it
no,
is?
I'll tell you. See, what do you need the funds for? That's why I said, no, you should be clear about your own vision.
True.
What do you want the funds for?
True. Yeah.
Is it
Yes.
for a program or is it for your organization? If it is for your organization, also you can raise funds because you need to run your own organization. That also you should be able to sell. But even while running your organization, you are helping other blind people, is it not?
True.
Actually, whether it is off or for, only management is different. Work is the same, let me tell you.
Then Nagaraj, you're trying to say that blind people themselves cannot raise funds, but sighted people can.
No,
I
not
mean,
like
that's
that.
not-
Not like
so
that.
but that's what your means.
No,
That's what
no,
that's what
that-
your statement means.
No,
But
no.
I'll tell you,
I never said
Nagaraj.
No,
I'll
ma'am.
tell you, in
No,
this, you must become a real Gujarati. You know what Gujaratis are famous for? Make
don't know.
everybody your friend who can give you money.
Nice, sir.
Remember
Thank you.
that. You
Thank
will be
you.
very happy in life.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. Do your work in your way, but make everybody your friend who can give you money. Manage your
Remember
yourself.
one rule of organization management: people don't matter, interests matter.
Yes,
Yeah.
your cause matters.
Not that so and so is not
But-
good, so and so is good. I don't like so and so. I
No.
like so. That's not important.
Exactly.
No, sir.
How-
Actually, the
how-
fact is that
How is serving the interest
it-
of the cause,
it-
and how is it serving interest of your organization?
No,
That's
Nagaraj,
important.
if you have good
No, no,
programs, no.
true, ma'am, true.
If you have good ideas in your organization, you will get money. It does not matter whether it is off or for, but you should be able to crystallize your programs. You should be able to say, number one, I want to train 10 blind people. I want to do advocacy for 20 blind people. I want to give obit writers to 3 blind people. Is it not? If you can put this clearly on paper, you will get money. It doesn't matter whether you're off or for.
Okay. I think that the thing is like, is there any kind of a social perception on which?
No.
No, right? Yeah, yes. Okay.
I just
People
got you
don't
to major.
understand, Nagraj.
And I
Luckily for you,
completely.
people don't understand off and for.
True, yeah.
They don't understand that. Yeah.
When
Also,
you-
Yeah.
as
let
Nandini
me
said,
give
our
you-
jargon, it's sector jargon. They don't understand all
Yes,
this.
that's why I said don't use jargons. I told you
No.
not, don't use all technical words. People don't understand. And for them, one blind person is like another blind person. They don't see the difference. So you may be a computer engineer. They might still think you are a musician. The musician
right.
might think he's a
Yes.
rocket scientist. So don't worry.
Yeah, fine, ma'am. Thank you.
See,
Thank you.
one problem that I see in many organizations, and I want to be upfront on this, that we take off the blind as if we have to do everything to the point that we don't want to allow anybody else to enter the system. Off the blind means our decisions should be taken by us.
Yeah.
That does not mean that you cannot have professional joining you. It in no way means you can't have sighted people joining you to head. It doesn't mean you can't keep staff. You see, Decision making rights is the only thing of that. Doesn't mean even typing you have to do yourself. But then there are also issues of space. We all know, and let's be very direct on this. Because in leadership training, we are doing in-house, let's talk direct. We all know the organization space is limited at the top level. In any pyramid, as Nandi will tell you, the space is limited at the top level. So we have this fear elections will happen. Then what will happen if I allow somebody? Would I continue? Those factors often sometimes condition our thinking that we want to control everything ourselves centrally. We want to do telephone, we want to do typing, we want to do fundraising, we want to do everything. Remember, in an organization, everything can't be done by one person.
1%, true.
You may have seen that even this workshop, most of the work is either Muthu is doing or Aishwarya is doing. I'm not doing it. I'm controlling, I'm monitoring, I'm supervising, I'm helping. And they're using the president's email ID.
Tell me one thing, if you are ill and you say, I want a blind doctor only, will that be possible? Or if I say, I want to go only to a person who is maybe dark complexion like me, who's 60 years old, I want to go only to that person. So, we should not discriminate within ourselves. And again, I said, be a Gujarati. Take help from everybody who can help you. Why
we should not be afraid. We should not be afraid of people. We are very afraid of people. That what will happen. Somebody may then do the ABC. Look, if somebody is better than you, it's good that person takes control of organization. Nothing wrong with that. Because until the cause will be served. And if somebody is not as good as you are, then you will continue because ultimately work shows. Believe me, there are no shortcuts to work.
I'll just take 1 minute to clarify. When I joined the field of visual impairment 40 years ago, a lot of rehabilitation professionals like us used to decide for you, which is wrong. If I was, supposing there is a young, brilliant, blind person who wanted to, in that age, to become a lawyer, practitioners of that time used to say, no, you learn music or you learn caning. Now that is wrong. Each to his own. Each person has the right to bloom to the extent possible, whether he is blind or whether he is sighted, whether he is SC/ST or whether he is anything. Anybody who does not have access or who has not had equality has the right to ask for it, demand for it, fight for it. And nobody has the right to spoil him or stop him from that.
Now, can we have a question from
Yes.
TAB, Tamil Nadu Association of the Blind? Raj.
Very good morning to you all. This is Yuvraj from TAB. We are not having.
Can you hear me, sir?
Fundraising officer. Do we need to appoint a person? If we are going for an appointment, how do we appoint a person? Can you mention a person's qualification and give some ideas to us?
You need to appoint a fundraising team. If one of your existing staff members is dynamic, is like a salesman in his qualities, you need not appoint anybody from outside. In our entire staff, we have never recruited people from outside. We have recruited family members, people who are blind themselves or their family members, because they understand the field. I would still suggest to you that if out of your staff, if you feel somebody is smart enough, can speak well, is a very people person, is very pleasant, please promote him. If he needs any training, if he knows English, please send him to Blind People's Association. In 10 days, I will train him. You need not appoint from outside. Any graduate with English and computer skills is enough.
Swaminath sir, you can ask your question.
Good morning, Nandini madam. I am Swaminath from Development and Welfare Association of the Blind from Telangana, madam.
Yeah.
Actually, first I am the student of DWAB. After that, I am the executive member of DWAB. So when I was studying in that school, we have faced so many problems regarding funds. If some politician comes from other party, so ruling party or sitting party will not bear locally. They will not digest why is he coming from other party and what is he doing for you locally. I'm only doing for so he says like that. suppose, so in central we have NDA, and in our Telangana we have TRS ruling party here. So if BJP politician will come from central or state, so TRS party politicians does not digest, madam. So this problem we have we are facing, because they don't donate anything, but publicity will be there, no? That's why we are calling them. And we have ADC exemption, tax exemption. Sir, how can we eradicate that problem? And one more question. So we have ADC exemption, tax exemption offer. So if somebody donates us, we have to give him a certificate to get that tax exemption. Is this good or not? And how can we eradicate that donation?
Anil, I'll quickly answer about ATG. But you, anytime when you are registered as a trust or a society, ATG first used to get automatically. Now you have to reapply, and according to the new rule from 1st April, you will have to reapply. Number two, you cannot take more than 2,000 rupees in cash in donation. If you take more than that, you can be penalized. So any donor who gives you more than 2,000 rupees, you have to make 5, 6, 7 receipts of 2,000 rupees each in different names. You have to take the PAN number of every donor. I did not want to go into all that because that was a financial part of fundraising. But you have to be very careful and try to avoid politicians to the extent possible. They don't give you funds, they only create problems. Fundraising and politics are totally different. Remember that.
I must thank Nandini once again. She's a close friend, always willing to help, as you saw yourself in every way. Wonderful session this morning. The Sunday morning has been really worth it. Thank you very much, Nandini. I'm sure this one area, all of you will demonstrate sufficient and significant improvement during next 1 year. Thank you very much. Now,
very much, all the participants.
Yeah.
I wish you the very best, and I hope you have benefited and you raise funds. And may God bless all of you and have a wonderful training session ahead. Bye-bye.